Evening. Today we are here for the first community meeting number 1 for District 4 for our Calaveras County Comprehensive Safety Action Plan. Just a quick introduction. Today with me, I also have Michael Martin, Director of Public Works, Laurie Dodd, Public Works Analyst 2, Armando Lee, Engineering Consultant. My name is Ruta Jariwala. I am the project manager on this project, and from TGKM, I am being supported by Rutvij Patel and Grishma Pandya. And then we do have our partner, GHD, who is also helping us on public outreach. And we have Melissa, Senior Transportation Project Manager from GHD, supporting us on this project. A quick agenda for today's meeting. We are going to quickly talk about what is a comprehensive safety action plan. We generally call it CASP. So you would hear me saying CASP multiple number of times throughout the presentation. CASP is Comprehensive Safety Action Plan. We will also talk about the CASP process. We have started with some collision analysis. So we want to kind of share our initial findings of collision analysis, which has helped us to develop a high injury network. We also have developed a project-specific website for this particular effort, which keeps you updated on all the upcoming meetings as well as the outreach efforts that we have on this project. We will quickly talk about how you can support us on this project and then open it up to discussion and Q&A. And then before we close, I also want to talk to you about what are the next steps. What would you expect in the next meeting? So what is Comprehensive Safety Action Plan? What is a CASP? So Calaveras County is developing CASP. This project did get funded by USDOT under Safe Streets for All grant program to improve safety on all the roadways as well as intersections within our county. The most important is the guiding principle of this particular plan. It prioritizes human life over speed, convenience, or any property or characteristics of the street by improving the street design decisions. It also recognizes that traffic deaths and severe injuries are preventable, so we can do or modify or use, I should say, a lot of engineering solutions or education solutions or enforcement solutions to overcome or rectify traffic deaths and severe injuries. It does account for human error. So if we design our roadways well, then we can also avoid these collisions. It does promote slower speeds so that it creates a safer environment throughout the roadway system. It expands transportation options for walking, biking, and motorcyclists. Um, Also, we want to make sure that all our improvements are equitable throughout the county and they are using data-driven strategies as well as enforcement. And that it's kind of a two-prong approach where we have a proactive and a reactive approach. So the data-driven strategies is more of a reactive approach because we are analyzing the data and then figuring out what are the strategies that would help us to eliminate traffic deaths and severe injuries or injury collisions. But there is also a proactive aspect to this, which is more of reaching out to the community, talking to the stakeholders, kind of understanding what are your concerns and issues within the county, and recommending strategies that help us to mitigate those issues. It does account for transportation and land use policies to support safety goals. Also, we are here to implement proven and innovative strategies, and not only implement them now, but also constantly keep on monitoring them so that if there is any fine tuning that is required based on the input that we receive from you, it will kind of benefit the community so that we can choose the right strategies for mitigating these or eliminating these injury collisions. And then again, the ultimate goal is to eliminate all traffic related fatalities and serious injuries and making our roads, vehicles, traffic system as safe as possible for all road users. A quick process. We did kickstart this project in April of 2025, and as I mentioned before, that we have collected the data. We collected the data for 5 years, from January 2020 to December of 2024. We conducted some analysis, which kind of gave us the collision trends and needs for some improvements at certain locations. Again, this process is really focusing only on fatal and severe injury collisions, or killed and severe injury collisions. Both are the same. You would see that I would use fatal and severe injury collisions, or KSI. It does mean killed and severe injury collisions. And it also helped us to identify high risk networks, which is comprising of both corridors as well as intersections. And it also looks into the highest number of fatal and severe injury collisions within that network, which in turn help us to develop safety countermeasures, integrate plan and prioritize these improvements, because we need funds to implement these improvements. And when we go out looking for grants for implementation, we need to prioritize them. We would have roster of projects, but as you know, we cannot implement all of them together. So we would have to prioritize those safety projects, so that we can kind of build our projects on the priority list, or go after the grants based on the priority list. And then developed a draft plan, circulate it, and then take it to the boards of supervisor for adoption, before we turn it into a CASP final plan. Now, as you can see throughout the process, as I mentioned before, this is a two-prong approach, along with the reactiveness by collecting the data and analyzing it. We are also considering proactiveness. So we are having multiple technical advisory group meetings, as well as stakeholder and community input meetings throughout the process. And we have started that at the onset of the project itself, so that we can hear your concerns and issues right now before we develop the safety countermeasures. This is just a little bit of more detail schedule. We have already completed our first community meetings in District 1, 2, and 3, and today we are here presenting in District 4. We also had our first stakeholder meeting on 09/16. So just kind of a quick dates on which meetings are already conducted, and you can always go to our website to look at what are the future meetings. But we would be having some series of meetings in winter. Then in spring, we will be drafting our draft report. We will take that again to our stakeholders to look at and comment on, and then take it to board for the adoption. I did mention that we have formed a technical advisory committee, and that includes of representatives from following groups, like Calaveras County Planning Department, County Board of Supervisors from all districts, District 1 through 5, School District, Senior Services, Fire Department, County Office of Emergency Services, Highway Patrol, City of Angels Camp, Caltrans District 10, and Calaveras County Council of Government. So we have invited all different groups to be a part of this project, so that we can hear from them and also take their help to develop the plan. Now jumping into a little bit of more technical aspect of this, which is the reactive approach, looking at the data. As I said, that we did collect 5 years of data from 2020 to 2024. And what we are seeing is a total of 356 injury collisions have occurred within our county, and out of which 6% contributed to fatal or killed injury collisions. Severe injury was 21%, 46% visible injury, and 27% complaint of pain. Please note that in this analysis, we have not considered Caltrans facilities or Caltrans maintained facilities like SR4, 12, 26, or 49. And then on the right-hand side, you can see a map where all these collisions have occurred, which are geo-coded on our map. Also, we are focusing on killed and severe injury collisions, or fatal and severe injury collisions. And here is the map that illustrates where these fatal and severe injury collisions have occurred within our county. If you look at the yearly trend, we are seeing that it's pretty constant when we look at the KSI, even though like definitely, it was higher in 2023. As you can see, we had 22 KSIs in 2023 and 82 all injury collisions in 2023. So it was kind of bumped up in 2023, and then 2024 it has come down again. Daily trend. It's pretty common to see that a lot of these collisions have higher occurrence during the weekends. So that is what you're seeing, that it's pretty standard over the weekdays, but it just rises up over the weekend. And then when you look at monthly trend, our months in June, July are kind of higher than other months. Also, when you look at the collisions location base, 71% of these collisions have, which is KSI collisions, have occurred on a roadway segment versus 29% have occurred at an intersection. So it just kind of gives us the percentage distribution by location also. And the data also gives us what are the different modes that are involved in these collisions. So as you can see, when I look at KSI collisions, which is darker green, 52% of them involve passenger cars and pickup trucks, followed by 38% of motorcycles, and then 5% other vehicle or other modes, 3% bicycles, and 2% pedestrians. Um, Once we look at the collisions, we kind of wanted to also know, so which are those violation categories that have led to these collisions? And when we dived into it a little bit more, some of the violation categories that rose up, or our top three in our analysis, is improper turning. As you can see, 41% of KSIs are due to violation category improper turning, followed by 32% DUI and 14% unsafe speed. And these violation categories have um, resulted into particular type of collisions. And these collision types are hit objects, 53%, followed by overturning of vehicles, 27%, and then head-on collisions, 9%. We also saw that there was a high percentage of motorcycle collisions within our county. So we thought that we should dive into it a little bit more. And so we looked at there are total 69 injury collisions that involve motorcycles. And again, following the same trend as all collisions throughout for all modes, 69% of them are on roadway segment versus 31% at an intersection. And then the yearly trends are also pretty constant. Um, like motorcycle collisions versus injury collisions, if you look at them, then by severity, we do have severe injury collisions and visible injury collisions are pretty high in case of motorcycle collisions, and then followed by fatal collisions and complaint of pain. We also saw that these motorcycle collisions have occurred during daylight, and 30% of them have occurred during nighttime where we have no street lights. So again, we want to kind of look into those areas where we could provide more street lights and see what can be done to mitigate or eliminate these kind of collisions. Also, we looked at violation categories for motorcycle collisions, and as you can see, that the violation categories were improper turning, 36%, followed by DUI, 25%, unsafe speed, 19%, and driving on the wrong side of the road, 17%. And these violation categories have led to collision types like overturning of motorcycles, hitting an object, and head-on collisions right here, which is 8%, 42% overturned, 33% hit objects, 8% head-on. Then we also thought that let's focus on District 4. What are we actually looking at when we just look at the collisions within the District 4 of our county? And as you can see, a total of 94 injury collisions have occurred within the District 4 boundaries, which is contributing to 12% of fatal collisions, 14% of severe injury collisions, 51% visible injury, and 23% complaint of pain. And again, pretty similar trend. 2023 was a little higher than the other years. 79% of collisions occurring at a roadway segment versus 21% of KSI collisions occurring at an intersection. Modes that were involved in these collisions is passenger cars or pickup trucks, followed by motorcycle mode, and then bicycle. Violation category, again, like we saw for overall collisions, improper turning, driving wrong side of the road are pretty high, followed by unsafe speed. And a lot of these collisions have resulted into hit object and overturning of vehicles. 54% hit object, 29% overturning of vehicles, 17% of head-on collisions. And they have occurred, like 70% of these collisions have occurred during daylight conditions, and 33% during nighttime where street lights are absent. This is just kind of showing high injury network and corridor map for District 4. And we have listed the high injury network on this map. And there is a list of these corridors on the next slide. So Little John Road, Baldwin Street, Railroad Flat Road are the top three corridors that have maximum collisions. We will be studying all these corridors. There are 10 corridors that we have identified, and we will be studying all of them, but the top three are the ones that I listed out. As I mentioned before, and at the early on my presentation, that we do have a project website that we have developed for this specific project. So here is the QR code for it. It also has some really good updates on the project, like the project timeline, frequently asked questions, project documents. This particular presentation is also going to be on our project website. So if anyone has missed this presentation, or if you want to listen to it again, then you go to our project website, and we are going to upload this presentation on our project website. Also, details of upcoming public meetings are on our project website. We have developed a special map input or interactive map platform, which facilitates you to give us online feedback. It gives you an opportunity to let us know which are the corridors, intersections, locations, driveways that are concerned for you. And we have developed a map input platform that would help you to do that. And that platform also has some survey questions. If you could please answer those questions, it would help us to understand the community better. We would go through the interactive map in a little bit, but also if you are on that website, do sign up and stay informed about this project, because there are multiple other meetings that are upcoming. So it would just have all that good information there. And with that, I would like to hand it over to Melissa.
Thank you, Rita. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for confirming. So I'm going to conduct a live demonstration of the interactive map. So here you see the project webpage. So if we scroll to the bottom of the webpage, you see the How You Can Help section. Again, here you have a link to the survey, the link to the interactive map, and the project sign-up sheet. I'm going to click on the interactive map box. Which leads to the interactive map. The interactive map allows you to add a location-specific comment to the map. So in the map, you could input a new comment, and you could also rate existing comments. So to input a new comment, find your location by either zooming in with your mouse if you're on a desktop. You can zoom in with your fingers if you're on your phone. You could also zoom in with the plus and negative minus signs here. And you could also input your address in the search bar. So I'm going to zoom into Mountain Ranch Road in the vicinity of the hospital. And let's say that my safety issue is that as a pedestrian, I find it difficult to travel from the north side to the south side of the street because of the high speed traffic occurring on Mountain Ranch Road. So I would input my comment by clicking on the add marker button, zooming in to the area of my comment. You could also toggle, get a little bit more detail by transitioning from the map view to the aerial view. So I'm going to transition to the aerial view, get a little bit more detail in there. And then I'm going to click on the map in the location where I want to drop my marker. And in the pop-up, I'm going to select my comment category. Again, I'm going to input a walking comment. You could also input different comments for different modes, such as bicycling, driving, motorcycling, if your comment's related to kids in schools, as well as safety. So again, I'm going to select walking. I'm going to add text for my comment. In this instance, I would say something like, I difficult to travel, to walk from the north to the south side of the street due to high speeds. Next, I will input my email address. So you do have to input your email address in order to log the comment. However, on the public side, your comment is shown as anonymous. You could also attach a photo if you desire. And then when you're ready, go ahead and click the submit button. And when you click this button, you will receive confirmation noting that your comment has been inputted. So that's how you input a comment. You can also look at what other people have inputted. So let's zoom. Say I'm interested in driving related comments. So this particular comment, I could read the comment and what the commenter here noted. If I agree with this comment, I can upvote it, or if I disagree with it, I can downvote it as well. So the instructions are provided here as well. I'm sorry, here. And then there's additional details as well. You can enhance the size of the map if you desire. And that is how you use the interactive map. So just going back to public outreach, again, this is our fourth district meeting, virtual. We will have an additional 4 meetings later on in the winter, as Ruta described. Those will be in-person meetings where we will present kind of the additional findings of the plan. But right now, it's really important to just get input from the public so we can understand what the safety issues are and locations so that we can develop safety measures that work for you, the community. And that's it for the interactive map. So now we'll open up the presentation to any questions that you may have. So if you have a question or comment, go ahead and raise your hand or unmute yourself. Okay, seeing no questions or comments, we'll move on to next steps. Ruta, did you want to finish the presentation?
Yes. Thank you, Melissa. So, like Melissa just mentioned, that we are going to come back to you, and when we meet next, which are a few in-person meetings that we have, we will be identifying collision profiles, and also that would give us kind of a kickstart on considering the countermeasures or safety strategies or safety projects, which we will share with you. We will also later on identify priority project locations, and then conduct a second round of meeting to gather some additional feedback and comment. So just in case, we just want to make sure that we have listed all the safety projects, and run it by not only the community but also the stakeholders and our chat team, to make sure that we have addressed everyone's comments. With that, I think that is the end of our presentation tonight, and we would like to thank everyone who participated. And please, again, want to remind you one more time that please share the information about this project with your friends, families, neighbors. And also, there is this nice project webpage that we have created for this project. So please share your concerns using that webpage and a map input platform that we just went through. Thank you, everyone, and have a great evening.
Thank you, Ruta. That was great.